Don't worry, it's actually supposed to do that. Welcome back. I'm Fox, and it's time to fix it. What we're working on here is the headlight switch on my 1981 Jeep CJ-5, and luckily this actually came out. Sometimes they can be a real bear to get to, but this being a Jeep, you can reach right back up under the headlight switch and push the button that you need to push. The button to release this headlight lever is located right on top of the switch, so you just sort of have to reach up under the dash, push this button down, and pull the lever out. It's just held in by this little relief cut into the shaft right here, and it's a spring-loaded little detent inside here that holds it in place. And now that we've got that out, we should be able to just take some slip joint pliers, grab this, and twist it. There we go. Get that started, and it should then come off by hand. There we go. There's a couple slots in here that when we tighten this down, we will have to use a slotted screwdriver and make sure it's snug. And this trim piece just goes right under that. Now we can pull this headlight switch out. By the way, make sure you've unplugged your battery before you do this. And there's your problem. This should not have its own TV antenna hanging out outside of the unit. This is part of a coil spring. It's a rheostat that goes right inside here. See how this is completely unwound and broken? That's not good. This should be a white porcelain piece protecting this rheostat. It's right here on this unit, so this porcelain is in place and the spring is inside that. And on this one, the porcelain is broken and the spring's outside. Okay, well, there's a problem. Guess that's going to be an easy fix. And remember how to unplug these. Yeah, I unplug it by just completely snapping that plastic immediately. Well, that's good. Let's snap this other one. Oh, won't you unplug? There we go. Oh, yeah. Now you can get a better look at it. Yeah, this is not supposed to be. Oh, hey, I completely removed it. Okay, well, it's supposed to be a rheostat, like coil spring in there, and not filled with rust that I can shake out and whatnot and so forth. Yeah. Make sure it's fully seated because these terminals are garbage in the first place. Now we're going to test it before we install it. So we're going to insert our headlight pull out. Perfect. Now I'm going to plug the battery in and we'll see if the headlights actually work. Make sure this is off when you do that. Turn our master switch back to on. And pull out the switch. And just like that, nothing happens. No taillights either. All right, we've got another problem. It appears when this headlight switch died, it blew taillight fuse. That's an easy fix. It shouldn't look like that. Inside, it should look like that. Nice and solid. All right, let's try this again. Make sure you got this switch in the off position when you reinstall the fuse, just in case there's something else wrong. I don't know about you, but it really doesn't matter to me if the number is right side up on the fuse box. It's going to bother some of you that this one is upside down. Main battery switch on. Let's try our headlights again. Oh, that's a 25% improvement. This seems just like bad connections now. Oh, yes. Let's just do that. There we go. Well, there's two parking lights, but still no headlights. And that's very dim. That's bad ground or bad terminal. Well, we do know that the switch works. So let's go ahead and finish installing this switch, and then we'll try to figure out the rest of the headlights. See how this has that flat spot? The hole in the dash is cut where there's a flat spot right here on this passenger side, I guess, of it. And the switch has to go in and be oriented the exact same way. Not orientated, oriented. Very important difference. Oriented is a word. Orientated is not. And that's the difference. Trim ring. Now to finish tightening this nut into the dash, there's three ways you can go about it. You can take a slide screwdriver and a hammer and just sort of tap it around. That's kind of a pain in the butt. You could also maybe use a set of snap ring pliers and you put them into both sides of the slot right here and you turn. That's also kind of a pain in the butt. As you can see, it doesn't work very well because they're not made for that. Or you could take a set of needle nose pliers, get into both sides of this slot and turn it that way. It doesn't have to be superhumanly tight. It just needs to be tight enough to hold everything in place. Then we'll push the headlight switch back in, just like that. And we'll, just for fun, go check and see if that fixed the headlight issue. And of course it didn't. Sometimes a simple switch replacement doesn't fix your problem. So now we have to diagnose it. Project cars are all about finding other people's mistakes. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our test light and we are going to pull that switch out and we're going to start probing for some power. And on this one, the red white wire is power out. Let's see what we have here. If I can get to it. Helps if I hook the battery back up. Okay, what do we got? Looking for power on this red white wire, which would be outbound down to our dimmer switch. And we have it. Okay, so we've got power in and out of the headlight switch. Let's go down to the dimmer switch. They're known to fail. This is a dimmer switch. It's on the floor on this vehicle. We should have power in here, which should be this center terminal right here. And we do. And then do we have power out? Well, we should have something at the headlights because, well, we should have actually everything at the headlights. It looks like this is in high right now anyways. Or if it's broken in high. Out. Yeah. So it looks like the switch is bad anyways, but it should be bad in a position that only gives me high beams. That's not it. I guess we'll come out here to the headlights. And, all right. We do. We definitely have power out here, so that's not the issue. All right. So if it's not that, never mind. Just discovered our problem. You need ground. This is the ground wire for the headlights. Yeah, it's not supposed to be Bluetooth. Now, trying to remember when I pulled the grill off, if I cut this or if it was never hooked up. I don't think I ever drove it or tested the headlights. What we're going to do to test to make sure this is our only issue is we're going to go ahead and ground this. And we'll plug the headlights back in and see what happens. Which way's up? That way's up. I don't know. What do you know? You ground stuff and you get headlights. Okay, well, that's the issue. I guess it doesn't really matter if it was cut before or I cut it. Starting to remember that I probably did that, having everything unbolted and forgetting to disconnect the grounds. Could be my fault, could be. But all we have to do is hook those grounds back up and we'll have headlights again. That's gonna do it for today. We did a headlight switch replacement and we did an electrical diagnosis all in one. It's just the way it goes with project cars. Sometimes it's the parts, sometimes it's you. We'll see you next time.